Besides doing tequila shots for breakfast, this is what else you should be doing during this pandemic. Hey everybody, welcome back. So I wanted to go over just kind of a few quick tips as to what should you be doing during this pandemic. Of course, let's get all the major ones out of the way. Taking care of yourself, your family, mental health, sleeping. That's a big one. Getting a good night's rest is extremely important in your mental health, helps for anxiety, all of those things. So make sure you're getting that. And it's always nice to figure out, oh, hey, this is what a good night's sleep actually is, if at all possible. If you're an essential worker right now, I know that's really tough for you guys to do. I just wanted to go over just a few things just real quick. Right now, what you should be doing if you are in a good place right now, as in you've got food, you've got water, you're not stressing about everything, which I know that's kind of difficult to do during these times. What I have done that I wanted to relay to you guys is I've started a list of items that I would like to have, okay? And so what I wanted to just kind of start off with real quick is my hurricane box, which I did a video on this years ago. I'm probably going to do another one relatively soon because it is that time of year for me to start kind of restocking and going back through. And with kind of the pandemic that's going on, I haven't had to dip into this. I've got a couple of these set up, but inside my box, I have just kind of basic items that I might need. Because of where I live, we have hurricanes quite frequently, so we lose power, things of that nature. So I have some stuff kind of, this is just my catch-all right now. I've got, a little bit of not freeze-dried, some of my vacuum-sealed food items. I've got my rice, which I took onto Merriweather's World and kind of showed you guys how I had all this set up. A few storage containers and lights and stuff like that. So just kind of some main backup staples in my hurricane box, okay? But I said a minute ago I didn't dip into this. That's not true. I dipped into it a little bit back last year just because I was looking for a special type of food, and I want to bring that up in just a second. So here's what you should be doing is you should be writing a list of things that you wish you had right now that you don't. Because in any other scenario, if this is your first kind of go around in anything like this, whether it's a natural disaster or whatever, you may not necessarily know what it is you need until you need it. So what I always recommend is that, during a hurricane, I kind of think about, well, I wish I had this, I don't have it, right? Obviously, food is the first thing that we consider. So keep a list of food that you wish you had right now. I'll give you a perfect example of this. My kids eat snacks like crazy during all of this. I didn't necessarily account for that. I had plenty of food staples. We got plenty of food for breakfast and lunch and dinner. But what I failed to kind of imagine is how much they would eat in terms of snacks. And snacks get a little bit tricky. For example, they love fresh fruit. I'm not going to go out every single day, every couple of days just to get fresh fruit. So maybe I need to start thinking about gardening, things of that. But you know what else would be really good? Dry fruit. Dry fruit stores pretty well. And of course, with all of these, you cycle everything throughout the year. And so that might be a way to kind of add to that. So keep a list of items you wish you had. Another one that I plundered from this earlier last year was some raviolis. Are they the healthiest food for you? No, not by any means, but they're comfort food. My kids love them, I love them, who doesn't love them, right? So food that's kind of a comfort food, get those. What I saw a lot of people buying at the beginning of all this was rice and beans. Let me tell you something. Rice and beans is great for a couple of days after you cook it, but you got to get real inventive real quick if that's all you bought, right? Because I can tell you eating rice and beans day after day after day gets really tiresome, okay? And so you want to make sure that you've got stuff tucked away in here. The other thing that I see a lot of people posting about is, board games, games for their kids, something for them to do. Inside your box, tuck away a couple of books that you might want to read, right? And just kind of keep it in here. So when you open this, it's like Christmas, right? You're like, oh my God, so what's in here? You kind of forget. if I don't go through this every year, I forget what I have in here. So you want to make sure that you're not only looking at the basics when you start building your survival box or hurricane box or emergency box. You want us to think about, what would be good as in kind of mental health, some comfort things, like I said, books and food. But making a list right now is important because once all of this is over, we're going to be focusing so much more on kind of getting things back up and running. And some of the little items that you wish you had, you might forget about. And so now's a good time to write those down. The other thing I want to mention just real quick, and I'll shut up because you know me, I'll just keep rambling. Keep this list. As things start opening up, you don't have to hoard, but go out and slowly start acquiring some of these items that you wish you would have had. You don't have to go out and buy everything at once. I suspect there's going to be a lot of people just buying every kind of prepper survival item out there without really putting into a lot of thought. So buy stocks in that. It's important that you buy these things intelligently and smartly, as in what you're actually going to use them for. Because I've got gear that I'm like, I'll never use this. It's cool, but I'll never use it. It's not really practical, right? So that is my suggestion for you guys as to what you should be doing now, and that is making your list so that when everything goes back to normal or the new normal, whatever that might be, you can start having those items tucked away so that you have those when you need them. All right, guys. Like I said, I'm going to try to do another post maybe on my box as I start building it back up and reshaping things myself. This thing changes every year, so I'll try to get that posted. Leave any comments down below. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can, guys. Hope everyone is safe, and I'll try to post more now that I've got a little bit more time on my hands. Have a good one, guys.